All right. Hey, how's it, everybody? It is right around 5 p.m. West Coast time. I'm going to call it 3 p.m. Hawaii time, 8 p.m. on that there East Coast, and 7 p.m. for our Central Time folk. I am Matt Statter. This is Chatter with Statter. And it looks like we've got a couple people here and a raiding party coming on in. We've got Rick in the house, we've got Shock in the house, and Terry in Scotland raiding with a party of 4. Looks like PPP Bang is here. Good to see you. Been a little bit. DJ Smoot coming in. E-Music coming in. Pacola T saying hello to the Statter crew. Shock saying welcome to the Raiders. And let's see here. Looks like E-Music, PPP Bang, DJ Smook. All right, I think we've got everybody. Rick and Shock. Everybody who said hello, I think I've said hello too. So you were camping out waiting for this stream. Oh, that is super awesome. I'm so stoked to hear that. Yeah, so let's see here. It's the only way for you not to miss it. Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. Now, with the time changes and all, it is 5 p.m. West Coast time here. What time is it over in the little Finland area, or actually the big Finland area? Do you guys do daylight savings time or daylight standard time or whatever? Did you do the time change? What time? 3 a.m. Okay, yep, that is right in the, yep, there we go. And you do. Okay, so we're all synced up again, I guess. All right, there we go. So, Shock, good to hear that you no longer sound like Tutu. It sounds like you are getting a little bit better from the cold, your travel cold. And if I remember correctly, but let me double check, I think we've got some things. Yes, we do. We've got some pictures that I downloaded from Discord today that Shock shared with me and with us. And oh no, I just remembered I forgot to download a very important picture. All right, I'll have to do that at some point. We'll be able to do that. But let's see here. All right, you guys. We've got Rick, we've got Terry, we've got everybody. All right, well, while we're here gathering around, why don't we get the party started and then we'll talk about what we're going to talk about. All right, let's do it. Boop. I was trying to download something, but I'm not that fast. Okie doke, you guys. Let's talk about it. Okay, what are we gonna talk about? Well, why don't we talk about, mistakes, because everybody makes them. And, but when you make them, oftentimes the little mistakes, they're not really like, set in stone or anything. Oftentimes you can go back and fix them. Other times, though, the mistakes are etched there forever. For instance, this gentleman here who did his best to make a manhole sewer cover, he didn't know how to spell his country. And maybe it wasn't his country and it wasn't his to spell. And that's right, Rick, we don't want to be half fast. Because if we're half fast, then we have to throw the half fast thing, the half fast whatever, emote. That's what it is. But yeah, so just to give you guys an idea here, actually, why don't we do this instead? Yeah, so that is what it was. But alas, he doesn't know where he's at. And perhaps he did his job half fast. And yeah, I just saw that and I thought that was kind of funny. And so I wanted to share it with you guys. No major anything or anything like that, but poor guy. I hope he never has to walk down the street that has that manhole cover, because I would cringe every time I walked over. And they call it something else in India, and they probably just watched a sheet how to spell it. Oh, actually... And suddenly it all makes sense. Of course, duh. My Western point of view and bias is just like shining through right now. Of course, they call it something else. And so they're just looking at a sheet. Right, much like how I'm sure it looks like when we try to write like Japanese letters or Chinese letters, and we can copy it as best as we can, but inevitably, we didn't write strange and alluring. We actually wrote like frog legs are tasty or whatever. So yeah, exactly. And yeah, Picola Tea, you've seen the funniest English translations in Japan. Yeah, there's actually a whole website dedicated to it. And I can't remember exactly what the website is called. It's a horribly awful name. I don't remember precisely what it's called, but I do know that Engrish, Engrish, English, yes, English.com, I believed is what it was called. And yeah, it's the name of the website is kind of offensive, but it's really funny. The content is really hysterical. And so, and in India, most people speak and write at least 3 languages. That doesn't surprise me at all, actually. Either way, I did giggle when I saw the misspelling, but obviously, there is probably a very legitimate reason for that misspelling. And Rick, yeah, you definitely want to make sure that the misspelling is on the paper and not on your tattoo. I have talked to a couple of tattoo artists about this very topic. In fact, any tattoo artist worth his salt, or her salt, worth their salt, they are going to have multiple dictionaries in their shop. So they can triple check how it is that they spell words. Because when people want stuff written on their arm, suddenly tattoo artists are like, I don't even know how to spell the anymore. I need to double check to make sure I spelled it right. They get, it's oddly enough, 2 of the most high pressure tattoos that you can get or ask for a tattoo artist to give you is words, like especially a lot of script, like, a bunch, a poem or whatever, but basically words. And then also a singular, straight, perfect, clean, solo, thin line. And you'd be surprised at how often that aspect in a tattoo actually happens, especially if you're doing like a fishnet stocking up the back of your leg. But just doing one singular, clean, thin line without popping the line, which is what makes the line difficult, because popping sort of means when you go out of the boundaries, the skin cells popped. You didn't have steady pressure. And exactly, one single clean line is hard on paper even. Exactly. And so oddly enough, when it comes to tattoo artists, some of the simplest, seemingly simplest things, words, a straight line, are actually the most difficult. And oh no, to be honest, says PP Bang, all the tattoo artists I know are not exactly the smartest people, so they just might do exactly what is being asked. Well, that is true. I wouldn't be surprised if there are some artists out there. Just so happens, it just so happens that, the artist that I know, well, okay, one of the artists that I know probably didn't have a dictionary in his, shop for reasons you did mention. But all the other artists that I have talked to about this and worked, and had work on me, I guarantee you they had the dictionary. I saw the dictionaries, which is why the topic came up, actually. But now that I think about it, there's this one shop I went to that I never did. Never did, notice a dictionary. And, Picola Tea walking a straight line is pretty hard too, totally. And, PvP Bang, I don't know exactly how they do it, but I do know, that tattooing as a general rule of thumb, sometimes tattoos are done freehand, but as a general rule of thumb, the tattoo artist, they create that line on a oh, it's called something, but basically it gives you a purple temporary tattoo. So they create the tattoo on a transfer. Good God. On a transfer. And yeah, or they do templates. Exactly. Yeah. I'm only speaking of modern tattoo with the machines, etc. What the Polynesian or style tattooing does, I'm not sure, but I have noticed that, yeah, he does also have the purple ink. Basically, yeah, there's this purple ink. You can only assume it's maybe like surgical ink or something, but they mark where they're going to tattoo you up. And so in order to no, it's not a mold, it's like a transfer. It's like a temp, you know, like when you were a kid, you know, you like got a piece of paper wet and then stuck the image onto your skin and then peeled the paper off, and now you had a little heart on your arm or a lightning bolt or whatever. It's sort of like that. And so they oh yeah, well, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know if it does make it easier. You're still doing it freehand. Exactly, yeah. And that's why, seriously, dude, that is why tattoo artists get paid good money. Because it's a high-pressure job, even when just doing one simple line. In fact, it's the one simple line that is some of the most stressful. It's so ironic that way. And it looks like we've got Verity Hunt in the house. We are talking about tattoos at the moment, and Nicola T, I agree. I'm always amazed by calligraphers and freehand cake decorators. Absolutely. It's calligraphers especially. Technically speaking, you know, the freehand cake decorators, they can scrape off the icing and start over again, although that is a whole other nightmare. But yeah, those people just... Yeah, the cake decorators actually are a whole different level of awesomeness, because they have to know how to squeeze that right pressure to keep the... Yeah, these people have talent for that one. We'll just... Yeah. And let's see here. A friend of yours has an Omega scar for his fraternity. Very clearly intentional. Well, yeah, a lot of people get branded for their sororities and fraternities. Fraternities, not sororities. Fraternities. So very weird. And Trail Dust, you have no tattoos, just scars. My best guess is, my friend, you have one or two scars, or more than just one or two scars. I have, on this arm alone, I have so many burn scars from when I used to make toffee every year with my boss at this time of year. We used to make about 250, 300 pounds of English almond butter toffee, chocolate coated. And let me tell you, man, that much butter and sugar, no matter how careful you are, every year there's going to be a big old blistery 3rd degree burn somewhere on your person. And I have no doubt in my mind that that as a blacksmith, you also have your fair share of, oh, I shouldn't have touched that, or oh, wow, that spark flew far, or oh, I didn't realize that was still hot, or whatever. Yeah. And let's see here. PB Bang, yeah, you find it fascinating how the tattoo doesn't disappear when the skin regenerates. Well, you know, your skin is see-through. So, and it's just the layer below it, so you can see through your skin. If that doesn't freak you out, I don't know what does, but tattoos are kind of proof of that. And did I get hazard pay for making toffee? No, I didn't, Picola T. Instead, I got toffee, which was also, you know, it's a reward in and of itself. Well, and I got to know the secret of making it, because not everybody knows how to make the toffee, and we made it in a very particular way that was a little bit different than a lot of recipes online. And we also never, ever used a candy thermometer. So we have to figure out this hard crack stage just by our visuals. And we're so good at it now that we can pretty much tell by like, oh, it smells right, blah blah blah. You know, we're very well trained, and so just the experience and training alone made the danger worthwhile. And oh yeah, Darlene, oh good. I couldn't remember if was able to send anybody any toffee. I need to make more toffee, but I always space out. And when I remember that I want to do it, I don't have the ingredients on hand, and then I space out and don't buy the ingredients, because you need to have really good chocolate, and you need to have good fresh roasted almonds. I have a packet of almonds in my cupboard right now, but they've been there for over a year, and so that'll make grossness. That would just make grossness. And your favorite candy is called Toffifee. Oh, is that the same thing as Toffifee over here? Is that weird thing? It's like a half a circle, or no, a half of a globe or whatever, and it's like kind of like caramel on the bottom or something, and it's got like a nut, and then it's got a little chocolate dot on the top or something. Is that okay? Yeah, exactly. The hazelnut nougat and caramel. Okay, so yeah, I think it's called Toffifee over here. But when I was a kid, that used to be one of my favorites. I don't know when the last time I've had one of those was. Do you guys know what Toffifee? You guys know what PPP Bank's talking about? And let's see here. Hold on, wait. What were you saying there, Verity? About whose tattoo reads "Forgive"? I don't know whose tattoo reads "Forgive" instead of "forgive," but that's a dialect, I guess. And he could go back and get someone to do a R in front of forgiveness. I don't know, man. I think "forgive" is kind of funny. And and it looks like Pacola T is the other one who remembers Toffifee. Okay, and you guys both spell it similarly, whereas I always thought it was spelt differently. And yeah, PPP, you always get it for Christmas. I always associate it with Christmas for some reason as well. I think they must advertise it more in during the Christmas time. Wait, Verity, your tattoo says "forgive"? Wait, what? Wait. Okay, Shock, it is Toffifee in the spelling in the US. All right, so I'm not just being confused. I mean, I am being confused, but you know what I mean. All right, so let's see here. Now that Shock has shared with us the spelling, I'm going to share some other things that Shock shared with us. These are a few pictures. Oh, your son's tattoo. Oh. Is he going to get it fixed? Because, man, I would smack my son. It's like, come on. You know I have no problem with tattoos. I'm covered in them. But you need to spell check. Oh, man, I'd go down to that to a tattoo artist with my purse. Swinging my purse. Mom out of control. But, all right, let's see here. Instead of Mom out of control, this was Shock, and she was very much in control, taking pictures of cool things on the random streets, of Thailand, not Taiwan. Oh, he got it on the boardwalk in Venice. Again, one might think, yeah. Oh, that lady had no idea she had the same pose as the statue. Yeah, I noticed that she kind of did. And that was train food. Okay, actually, I'm going to let these things go for a minute. And then I'm going to... Okay, you guys, this... Hold on. Boop. That... Oh, no. All right. Whoops. I like the wings coming out of their butt. I mean, I know it's not really wings coming out of their butt, but it kind of looks like it. And why aren't you going? There we go. Same. Yep, same we go. And then that's a super cool picture. I really enjoy that one. But then, yeah. So what are these? What are these, Shock? These donuts? Are these? What are those? Coconut pancakes. Oh, they looked like I would eat them, but I just didn't know what they were. And then, what is that stuff in the bag? I see that that's an egg, I think, and rice. But what is that stuff in the bag? I couldn't figure that out. Inspiration for the winged monkeys in The Wizard of Oz? Yeah, very much so. I mean, I doubt it, but yeah, it is what it looked like. That is krapow, minced pork and basil. Oh, I did not anticipate that. That sounds delicious. Hey, Lady Tie-Dye, good to see you. We are looking at, we are looking at the pictures of, Thailand that Shock, gave to us. And I don't know what Elephant Poo-Poo Paper Park is. But it's apparently a one-day trip with a red car. And so there's Elephant Poo-Poo Paper Park. Okay. And then there's the men's toilet with a really cute picture. I think it is so funny. I think Poo-Poo Paper Park is an off-putting name, though. I do too. Red cars are pickups with cabs and seating. Okay, okay. I was wondering what that was. And then there's our butt with the wings, which is very fancy. And then there's our real life person statue contest. I mean, they're wearing almost the same shirt, it seems, too. I mean, not only is she standing like that, she's dressed like that. I mean, it's just, you really had a good eye to catch that. Oh, okay, it's some kind of guardian that appears all over. Got it. Yeah, these are just awesome, awesome, awesome pictures, man. And there, we're back to the coconut pancakes. So, there we have it, Rabbit. That is what Shock shared with us. And so, Darlene, by the way, I forgot to say hi, but I did see that you're busy chilling your cookie dough, which is much more important than this. So I'm glad to know that you've got your baking all at hand. And hey, Andre, good to see you. I'm sorry that you did not, that you couldn't chat, but I'm glad to see that your technological woes have been overcome. And I agree, PP Bang, that part of Asia has some of the most beautiful architecture. Absolutely. I totally, totally agree. And Andre coming in with Toffifee, known in the United States as Toffifee, is a German, just like PP Bang said, brand of caramel candies owned by the Berlin-based company August Stork KG. Toffifee are caramel cups containing nougat, caramel, and a hazelnut topped with chocolate button. I love the chocolate button. And they're sold in 4s, 12s, 15s, 24s, 30s, 48s, and 96-piece boxes. Whoa, I've never seen a 96-piece box of that. I think maybe 4 and 12 might be the biggest I've ever seen. And it was first sold in West Germany, marketed as a product for the whole family. All right, there we go. And let's see here. You have been having technical difficulties. All right. Yes, the chocolate button is the best part. And Shock, yeah, you should. I need to learn how to use coconut flour, because coconut flour, of the times that I've used it, did not work out well for me at all. It was so dry. I didn't know how to use you need I found that you need a lot of liquid when you're using coconut milk, and I did not know how to adjust the recipe properly. Things did not turn out tasty. But the potential for tasty with coconut flour is so there. I encourage you to try it, and then when you find out a good way, teach me your ways, man. Yep, there you go. All right, so let's see here. Another thing that I wanted to... Oh, yeah, this is something I did want to talk to you guys about. So, we talked about Wait, hold on. Do you have Bounty chocolate bars? Literally the worst thing in existence. You are so wrong. If Bounty bars are what I think they are, I totally disagree with you. We do not have Bounty bars here, but if I remember correctly, Bounty bars are basically the Canadian and the English version of what we know as Almond Joy and Mounds. But Bounty bars are different. They're made by a different company, but aren't they coconut covered with chocolate? And if I remember correctly, they're coconut covered with dark chocolate, but they don't have a nut. Or maybe no, it's coconut covered with milk chocolate, but they don't have a nut. And they're the tastiest candy bars in the world. So let me just tell you this right now, PBB Bang. I will trade you all of my Toffee Fays for all of your Bounties. And then we'll both be happy. Because it is coconut, but I don't remember much else outside of the taste. And you never liked those as a kid, but as a grown-up, yeah, no, they've always been my favorite. When I was little, I didn't particularly like the Almond Joys because I didn't like the almond. And I preferred, well, actually, I preferred the Almond Joy because it was milk chocolate, but I didn't like the almond on top. So I always got the Mounds, even though it was dark chocolate. Yeah, you're right, PB Bang. I don't think they have the almond. Yeah, it's just the coconut, and they're like this. There's two of them in a package, and they're like, you know, this big or whatever. I think that's how they're sold here. The Mounds and stuff are. No, I love those. So here, I'll trade you your Toffee Fays for your Bounty. My Toffee Fays for your Bounties. You didn't like candied coconut? Yeah, no, a lot of people don't. I like coconut in almost all its edible forms as regards to chewing it. I don't like coconut milk in meat stuff. It just doesn't taste good. Yeah, Mounds is the dark chocolate with no nut. Almond Joy is the milk chocolate with the nut. And as a kid, I always wanted a milk chocolate with no nut. So when I found the Bounty bar, which is the milk chocolate with no nut, it was the perfect flippin' flirpin' candy bar as far as I was concerned. So when PBB Bang brought it up and was all, oh, it's the worst, I was like, But you were already here for all that, so I don't know why I had to recap it. There we go. No joy, because I didn't like coconut as a kid. Right, see? All you weirdos, but you know what though? Actually, all you weirdos are great because I loved people like you. A lot of people like you existed in my childhood, and I was ready and willing to trade my Three Musketeers, my crummy Three Musketeers, for that Almond Joy. I was ready to trade that stupid Necco wafer for the Mounds. I was ready for y'all to make my trades because I liked them. And only people born crazy liked coconut as a kid. I'm not arguing. I mean, there's truth to that. I'm not arguing. Well, I'm not saying you're wrong. And let's see here. Coconut cream pie. Oh, yes. Totally, dude. Super, super yum. And yeah, Chuck, it's like if Three Musketeers just seems so disappointing and pointless. You know, like, if you put some caramel in there, well, now we're talking. I mean, that's a Milky Way now, but I don't know. Three Musketeers to me are just, they're just disappointment. That's all. I would definitely trade my Three Musketeers. And some people really love them. They're their favorite candy bar. One of my friends who is in the hospital, has been in the hospital for months. That was the first thing he asked me to bring him. Bring me Three Musketeers. And it's just like, okay, you can have it. I didn't take a bite at all. Trust me. And let's see here. Chocolate Hopia pie from Ted's is to die for. Yeah, I've never had anything from Ted's that I know to my memory, so I cannot agree or disagree. Because unfortunately, when I went to Oahu 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, it was at a time when Ted's wasn't selling individual slices at the 7-Elevens or at the grocery stores anymore. I can't remember why, but it had something to do with the pandemic and sourcing and whatever. And so you had to go to Ted's to get the pies, basically. And I didn't. And Piccolati, you know, my favorite cake when I was a kid, once again, my craziness, was a layered coconut cake, white cake, but with lemon curd between the white cake, and then vanilla frosting with coconut all over the outside. That was my favorite cake as a kid. And Rick, never buy an individual slice when you can get the whole pie. See, but that's the problem, Rick. Because if you get the whole pie, if I get the whole pie, I will eat the entire pie. And nobody needs that. Want it? Yes. Need it? No. And Andre. Oh no. Oh no, Andre, you got an ice cream bar in Finland thinking it was covered in chocolate, only to your horror to discover it was covered with salty licorice. I don't know how I would react. I don't. I can see why you don't like Finland, Andre. Why you just, yeah, that would be horrifying. That would scar me for life. That would scar me off of ice cream. I wouldn't trust an ice cream bar from here on out. I couldn't. I can't. And Verity, I will give you all my salt licorice covered in chocolate. I know a guy. I know exactly. I know 2 stores in my town that sell that stuff. So yeah, you have to grow up with it, I think. So Verity. And Piccolati, yes, I like it when places sell half pies as well. It's the perfect compromise. Exactly. You get more than you need, but you don't overdo it. Well, you overdo it, but not to an overdoing it part. And let's see here. Rick, you think half pies throw off the balance of the universe? I can appreciate that logic. But no. I as a single person, a half pie is more than enough for me, but at the same time, just enough for me. Yes, indeedly do. Hey, See You Honda, good to see you. And yeah, Andre, I like the mini pies too, especially because sometimes, and I know this is really weird, but sometimes pies, it's all about the crust. If there's a good pie crust, sometimes you don't mind a little extra crust. And so the mini pies, you know, if the crust to filling ratio is a little off, it's kind of okay if it's a good crust. There is such thing as too much crust, but sometimes there's also not enough crust. If the crust is super good, and you like, there's, you know, a good portion of the pie is the crust, in my judgment. And, let's see here. Okay, cool. Hot Thai Kitchen, the Kanom Croc, or whatever, that's the coconut pancakes, I'm assuming. And you don't have to read a giant story before you get to the recipe. Yeah, those are such annoying recipe pages. And yeah, the armored crust pie is not good to me. No, totally. Hey, Kenny from the Cove, good to see you again tonight. Glad you could be here with us. By the way, you guys, thank you guys so much for hanging out last night with the season or the series wrap up of Reservation Dogs that we did. So from here on out for the next, hold on, let's find out. Today is this. So 1, 2. Okay, so we've only got 2 Saturdays. Okay, we've only got 2 Saturdays between now and Christmas. So we've got 2 movies that we can watch that are Christmas holiday themed. I would like to do one of them, The Christmas Story with Ralphie and the Red Ryder BB gun. And then I really enjoy the ref, and I think Kenny from the Cove voted for the ref. So I would like to suggest the ref, but if somebody else has another suggestion, we definitely can listen to it and consider it. But speaking of, yeah, I know, Kenny, right, exactly. Kenny wants the ref. We're very clear on that. But speaking of Christmas, you guys, now I know that most of all y'all are not going to be getting a live tree this year, but some of you all are going to be getting a live tree, and you might end up knowing people who get a live tree. So this is something that you kind of want to pay attention to when you're getting a Christmas tree. Honestly, I don't think it matters if you're getting a live Christmas tree and cutting your own, or if you're getting just a real one that's been shipped, right? So if you end up getting a real tree and you notice that it's got something that looks like it's like a walnut-sized little corm like this, this is something you want to make note of. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to chop that part of the tree off and remove it from your home and just put it outside by, in your garden. Because unfortunately, that little thing is a nest full of bugs, particularly praying mantis bugs, and they are quite cute and they are quite helpful, but they're not helpful in your home. And so you want to basically just put them back outside to your garden because the warmth of your house is going to make that turn into that. So you don't want it to turn into that, because all of those bugs are going to be in your home, and there's probably not going to be enough food for them to grow into real praying mantis adults. They're probably all going to die, and you don't really want them to die in the middle of winter. So you because they are very, very, very beneficial to your garden at the right time of year. So if you go and put that outside in the cold, it will actually keep that cold enough, and it will hatch in spring once. If you get it outside soon enough, this will happen in spring, and instead it will be out in your garden. And so then you'll be very happy because it's very good. And so that is your little Christmas tree lesson of the season, or Christmas tree season warning, or whatever it is. And so you get those at school that you work at, and you got to get them out fast for or the kids will start seeing massive acts of mantis cannibalism. Right? Yeah. Exactly. And let's see here. Pacola T asking PPB Bang if live pine trees are a typical Finnish Christmas tradition and decorated like German or American styles, and the answer is yes, that is exactly it. And let's see here, Darlene, I actually ordered 2 pods to take up north to hatch to control some bugs up there. We weren't there when they actually hatched, but saw some of them around. Was cool. Exactly. They're very beneficial. So it's not like you should really freak out too much. If you see it on the tree and it hasn't hatched, we'll just clip what you can't, clip it off. Hopefully it's not going to ruin the look of the tree, but clip it off and take it outside. And then it'll hatch when it's supposed to hatch, and suddenly you'll be stoked because they're very beneficial, beneficial insects for the garden. And you get to look at them and go, I helped bring them there. And let's see here, Andre saying, and remember, Santa lives in Finland. I can't figure out how he can be jolly and Finnish at the same time. Well, I don't know. Perhaps it's the traditional shoes that the people in Finland and other people wear. I can't remember what that culture is supposed to be called. I do remember that it used to be called something that I guess now is offensive. But you know the elves, and how the elves have their little upturned shoes? Those are actually traditional shoes up there, because you hook the shoes onto your sled, and it keeps your feet on your sled as they're going through the snow on a one-horse open sleigh and stuff. Except it's not a one-horse open sleigh, it's actually probably like dogs and stuff. And it's not an open sleigh, it's like a stand-onable sleigh, but whatever. And let's see here. PB Bang, I mean, it's commonly agreed fact that Santa is Finnish and lives here at the North Pole. He personally saw him many times, but surprised him driving a Porsche and smelling like booze. There you go. And let's see here. Is that what I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, that's who I'm talking about, Andre. Yeah, their traditional shoes have those upturned toes for a very legitimate reason. And then the elves have those same shoes, so it might be safe to assume that that's where the elves come from. And if Santa lived in Texas and raised a bunch of cattle, what would he be? Really hot in his red fur coat. That's what he would be. Yeah, PPP Bang, that's what I'm talking about, but I've heard that term. I read that term is not really, like, kosher anymore. They prefer to be referred to as something different, but I don't remember what, so I'm not gonna tell you, because I just remember that's kind of the equivalent of calling someone an Eskimo in Alaska. Not really what is good. The real Sami people want to use that term. Okay, yeah, and see, here we go. Once again, I don't know what people call themselves, and so I'm trying not to offend people, but you all know who I'm talking about now. It sounds like I described them well enough despite not naming them specifically. All I know is their traditional shoes have little upturned toes, and it's to help keep them on their sled. And I thought that was the coolest thing. I just learned this like probably 2 weeks ago, and I just thought that was the coolest little thing. So there you go. There you go. But you know what else is the coolest thing? And let's see here. Oh wait, Lady Tie-Dye, I happen to have an old pair of Turkish shoes from Renaissance Fair decades ago that have curled toes. You dyed them green. And then Andre is saying the Sami people are an indigenous group of people who live in the northern parts of Norway, Sweden, Finland, and Russia. Population is estimated to be around 80 to 100,000 people, with the majority living in Norway. There are 9 languages spoken today. Their culture includes unique forms of expression such as traditional song tradition and traditional clothing, all of which I cannot pronounce. And Kenny, that is a classic dad joke, and you should keep that classic dad joke up your sleeve at all times. And oh no, PPP Bang, Eskimo is a no. That is a slur. You might as well call a black man the N-word. No, they don't like to be called that at all. They're Inuit, they're Ukpik, they're Alaskan Native, they're a lot of things, but that is not one of them. And the not acceptable term is lap. Okay, well, okay. I can honestly say that is not what I read, but that does also make sense. And there we go. Athabascan. That might be what I heard they were supposed. See, this is. I wish I could remember even what the article was. All I know is I thought it was really cool about their shoes. That was really the whole point. I just really like their shoes, you guys. But you know what else I like? And I think you guys like it too. You guys like Lono. And it is time for our Lono listening break. And do I have a theme for this today? No, I don't. But that's okay, because sometimes That's what I do, and sometimes that's what I don't. And today, this is just what I does. That's what she does.
I'm just so amazed at how she makes me feel every day. Little bit of this, little bit of that. She's like a cat scratching up my back. She's got her claws in me now. Accidentally, incidentally, I don't know just how it happened. She's got a groove I respect so well. Don't ask me how it started. I was sitting here so broken hearted, looking for a trace of that smile she left on my face. That's what she does. 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 She can take a frown, turn it upside down and inside out. She can take a hurricane, make the day all nice again. Lives in reality. Been there, done that, 1, 2, 3. She can please a man and a few women too. Free and single, likes to mingle with the best of the best. What's your position, mommy? Just a little lower now. That's what she does. 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 Wow. Recognize me now, yeah, that's me over there, trying to get a glimpse of that girl, that girl, that. What am I supposed to do? Cause she's moving and a grooving, cooking up a recipe. Even Sam Choi would like puree, puree, gravy, gravy. She serves it up so well, yeah, my appetite is overwhelming. Give me some desserts, baby, make it hurt, and I'll be back for more of that kick and glide. Give me 2 more tens, we're gonna pick it up again. Number 3, you call it, just keep it smooth. That's what she does. 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 When the dance is over and she comes to me so freely with her arms open wide, she's taking me inside. Watch out, thinking that I had it easy. Then she says, oh please excuse me, who is that guy right behind of you? I was in shock, thinking, hey, what's up? I was tossing and turning, and my girlfriend woke me up. That's what she does. 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 That's what she does.
All right, excelente. So, hey, just as we went into that Lono listening break, Bandy Bo came on in. Good to see you, Bandy Bo. And during that listening break, we have a hype train going on thanks to Andre gifting some gift subs and everything like that. So, thank you so much for all of those gift subs there, Andre. And let's see here. It also looks like, hold on, wait. All right, yep. Okay, cool. Yeah, and then Cindy Kraus, I don't know if I said hi to you. Welcome in, and let's see here. All right. Cool. Oh, and then we've got some bits. Oh my goodness. So Darlene's here. Good, good, good. Doe is chilling, and then scrolling back up because here we go. PPP Bang. Going back to talk about the Sami people, the Sami people. I don't know how to pronounce that properly. Apologies to those who know better. They actually got really upset and mad when they started losing a lot of money because the media portrayed buying their stuff as cultural appropriation. People got too scared to buy their craftsmanship anymore, which is a major source and way of income. Yeah, that is super messed up, PPP Bang, because, but I can totally see how it happens because, or how that happened, because a lot of people are absolutely concerned about cultural appropriation. And it has come to the point where people are a little, I think, confused about that. And ultimately, to me, and obviously I am not the final arbiter of what is or isn't, but if you're buying the actual art from the actual cultural practitioner, culture, like, if I, for instance, I have a sweatshirt that is a pod of orcas done in First Nations Pacific style form line art, you know, the typical Native American of the Pacific Northwest, you know, form line art. But I didn't buy that from off the rack because it was cool. I actually I sought out a native artist who was selling his wares, and I bought it directly from the artist. So that is just cultural appreciation. That's not cultural appropriation. There is a fine line, obviously, but basically, you know, as long as you're buying it from the people who are making it, and you know, the legit people, like, yeah, I can definitely see why those why they got frustrated with the media at dude, how else is the culture supposed to sustain itself if you don't allow them to survive in their culture sustainably? Yeah, and so, if someone took something from your culture, it would just make, you know, you very, very happy. Yeah, I mean, I understand why, you know, native artists don't want you to buy native-inspired designs that were drawn by white people. Totally. That is cultural appropriation. But when you're totally supporting, like, the artist, like, good lord. And Kenny from the Cove, is there an online site where you can buy that artist orca shirts? Let's see here. There is. I cannot remember what it is. It's like Northwest Native Art Collective or something. I honestly don't remember, but I can probably find out. So, let me, hold on. He's a Canadian artist from British Columbia. I can tell you that much. And I have a couple different pieces of his work. I've got a stone that he etched. I've got a hoodie sweatshirt, and then I gifted Lono a couple of his t-shirts. A bunch of paddling t-shirts. Let's see here. What website? Northwest Native Art. I can't tell you, Kenny, what the website is, but I've made a note. I don't know, Shock, is it? I'll have to check. Hold on one second. We're going to talk about cookies in a minute. Andre, thank you so much for the money. And Shock, thank you so much. I think it might be. Let's see here. Darlene bragging about her delicious cookies. Pecan shortbread, crisscross peanut butter and thin ginger crisp cookies. Yum. And the cultural appropriation refers to those not indigenous who make things in the indigenous style and make money off of their style. Buy from an indigenous artist. Thank you, Lady Tie-Dye, for making words seem so much easier than I made them seem. That is exactly what I was trying to say. Obviously, somebody understood. I'm assuming PP Bang understood as well. But yes, Lady Tie-Dye, turning word salad into a delicious and digestible, legitimate set of ideas, sentences, things. Thank you, because that's what I was trying to say. But I wasn't, but that's what I was trying to say. And let's see here. Yeah, exactly. Important to check those labels. And then let's see here though. So let me let's see, where did I'm going to copy the current address, and then alrighty, so let's see here. I know, right? Okay, exactly, PPP Bang. Personally, I would like it to be authentic in the first place if I were to buy something like that. Abso-flippin'-lutely. And by the way, Mama Sean, I don't think I said hi to you earlier in the stream. I don't know how long you've been here, but good to see you here. And let's see here. So, while I check about the website that that Shock just shared with us, I wanted to share with you guys a very cute little video, and it's the yin and the yang of birds, and I think that they're smitten. So I'm gonna show you this quick video while I go check out the website. So just look at the cuteness. I think they're in love. Yeah, the Raven actually, I believe the Raven is doing a courtship ritual for crows, or for ravens. And so the Raven clearly is smitten by that. No, it's not her. Well, okay. Well, Rickett is harassing the owl, but in the way that boys often do harass the girls. And yeah, the Raven has a crush on the owl. The Raven is doing his little courtship dance, and he's trying to impress the owl. I don't think the owl knows what the heck is going on. I think the owl is a clueless girl who really doesn't pick up on the signals that are being sent to her because they don't speak the same language. But yeah, that I just thought was just the super cutest little picture, little video. And it reminded me of what's going on in Hawaii right now, with the release of some crows back on Maui. There's some native crows that almost went extinct, and through conservation efforts, they are trying to reintroduce them to the wild. Now, these crows were last were living freely on Hawaii Island, but they aren't reintroducing them to Hawaii Island at the moment for reasons, but they are reintroducing them to an area of Maui that that has had historical and archaeological record of crows existing there before. And so yeah, exactly. Give me your number, baby, says the raven says to the owl. The owl's just like, buzz off. Totally. And so let's see here. So I wanted to show you all about we got a little thing here. Hold on. So this is the Hawaiian owl that is being reintroduced. And here is a little something about it. Boop.
A historic milestone for Hawaiian crows in East Maui. The birds known as alala were released back into nature for the first time. Now, researchers say the alala went extinct in the wild 2 decades ago. 5 crows were let go at the slopes of Haleakala as part of a pilot program with the State Land Department, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service, the Maui Forest Bird Recovery Project, and the San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance.
Part of the strategy of releasing a juvenile cohort is to take advantage of the cohesion of that group and their ability to associate and make pair bonds as they age. The species was so close to being completely extinct that it's really a precious thing that we're trying to save. And we're hoping that if we can get down the road of recovery for alala, that everyone can celebrate that.
These native birds can now fly freely in the Kipahulu Forest Reserve and adapt to their new surroundings, all while being watched by a team of biologists and staff. Alala are also very important in Hawaiian culture, considered as aumakua.
Yeah, so they had sent an almost extinct bird earlier this year, but it got killed. Oh no, lame. Now, eMusic, was that a different bird or a different set of those crows? But I was reading, and they're sending 3 females and 2 males. No, 3 females and 2 males. So they're releasing 5 of them, and they're releasing them into a certain area that has no native Hawaiian hawks that are living in it, because the hawks apparently are a threat to them and will kill them. And perhaps eMusic, that was, you think it was the same, but it was on Hawaii Island, right? And that is why they aren't releasing them on Hawaii Island right now, is they want to build a sustainable population in the wild, in an area that doesn't have predators to the hawks, predators to the crows, I mean. And then also they wanted to make sure it wasn't in an area where the crows being reintroduced would then put another endangered species that happen to be in that area at a greater risk for competition of, say, food or shelter or whatever. So they had to be very careful about where they were It sounds like they realized, okay, we can't just do this willy-nilly after they had one killed or several killed on Hawaii Island. So like I was saying, I was reading that that this spot was chosen very carefully. No predators to the crows, and the crows won't disturb the established ecosystem that is already in there. And so, and let's see here. P-Bang, you've only seen a hawk once and it flew by your face at a high speed, only a couple feet away. Blink and you missed it. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, Darlene, exactly. It's a really nice thing that they're trying to get them going again. And so, on that note, you guys, this is going to be a video-heavy last half of the stream. But on the note of trying to get species reintroduced and perhaps some good signs. Check this out, y'all. And I know that this is kind of weird, but it'll make sense in the end. About why I'm talking about this now. So, crows are super smart, exactly. And you know what else is super smart? Orcas. And orcas are endangered. But we've got some really strangely good news. And so, I'm going to share with you this video, and you'll see what the strangely good news is once we get through to the end.
Or killer whales are apex predators of the oceans. They take down the most feared great white shark, devouring their nutrient-dense livers and tossing the rest of the carcass aside. But the largest member of the dolphin family was never considered a threat to humans. Until now. Sailors off the coasts of France, Morocco, Spain, and Portugal have been targeted by the small population of Iberian orcas. Between 2020 and 2024, vessels were struck by the orcas no less than 673 times. What began as a few incidents taking fishermen and leisure yachts by surprise started to take a sinister turn. The pod of orcas actively sought out medium-length sailboats that were no greater than 29 feet in length, and with male orcas weighing in excess of 6 tons and powering through the water at speeds of up to 35 miles per hour. A clash with one of these animals can cause a huge amount of damage. In fact, one sustained attack on October 31st, 2023, on a yacht lasted 45 minutes. The target was a Polish yacht in the Strait of Gibraltar. It was used to run sailing holidays in the Mediterranean, but for some reason the pod of orcas seemed to take a disliking to it. During the ordeal, the crew noticed that the repeated ramming, during which the crew tried desperately to get away from the killer whales and save the yacht, was very targeted. They weren't just hitting the sides or hull of the yacht. The orcas were specifically smashing into the rudder, and they didn't stop until the vessel sank near the port of Tanger Med. Other boats that had similar incidents also reported damage to their rudders. One sailor watched in horror as the orcas ripped the rudder off his catamaran and swam about playing with it in their mouths. There was nothing anybody could do, as the orcas are a protected species, and this group in particular, consisting of around 40 individuals, are considered critically endangered by the IUCN. But it was clear that something had to be done, as there was a chance that somebody could be killed if this behavior continued. But why were the orcas doing this in the first place? If scientists could get to the bottom of the attacks, then maybe it would help them come up with a solution. It would take a proper investigation to find out the answer. And to do that, the Spanish and Portuguese governments organized an investigation into the behavior. Marine biologists, those working in the marine industry, and government officials worked together to prepare a report in the hope that they could shed some light onto the unusual behavior. Looking elsewhere around the globe, there weren't any other pods that had been reported targeting boats, at least not on the same scale as the Iberian population. What scientists were sure of was that the apparently aggressive behavior had spread throughout the pod. Orcas often like to copy each other, and there have been lots of observations where wild orcas have developed fads. These come and go just like they do in humans. Perhaps one of the more unusual fads to take off was in 1987. A female who belonged to a pod in the Puget Sound area of the Northeast Pacific swam around with a dead salmon on her head. It was quite peculiar, but it appeared that she was having fun. Surprisingly, the behavior spread throughout the pod and into 2 neighboring pods over the course of 5 or 6 weeks. During that time, it wasn't uncommon to see other orcas wearing dead salmon hats. But that fad disappeared just as quickly as it had arrived. Could the boat attacking and specific fascination with the rudders also be a fad? Scientists thought that it was entirely possible. What had started with just a couple of individuals had spread throughout the local population of orcas, which resulted in a sharp rise in the number of orca boat interactions. The orcas had discovered something entertaining and something fun to do with the boats that were passing through their waters. All of a sudden, the scientists were painting the orcas as being playful rather than being aggressive, and that changed everyone's perspective on it. It is well known that orcas enjoy the sensation of the propeller wash. They often follow boats, swimming just behind them with their snouts just feet from the spinning propeller. This is known as prop watching. The investigation team thought that one of the orcas got overexcited, most likely a youngster, and bashed into a rudder whilst enjoying the propeller wash. When the rudder came away, it was like some kind of reward, and that's all they needed to repeat the behavior. But that's not all. During their investigation, the team found a promising reason for the orca's playfulness. The pod appeared to be healthy, have access to lots of food, and contain a significant number of juveniles. All in all, the orcas were thriving, and because of that, they had more time to play and socialize. They weren't constantly struggling to survive, spending all their time hunting for fish. Instead, they were spending their spare time having fun, and what better way to do that than bash into boat rudders? However, to people who owned the boats that were under threat, the behavior didn't look like fun. It looked quite menacing. But that's something orcas are known for. They certainly play rough. Another
So, they're just having fun. They're playing. That's what it is. And the reason why they're able to play is because they have an abundant source of food. And so, even though that pod is endangered, they are now, in this moment, or at least those couple years, well fed enough that they are, with lots of juveniles in their midst, that they are kind of rebounding. Now, one more little video, because now, remember that fish hat fad? Y'all, it's come back. They're doing it again. The southern residents, they're wearing fish on their heads again this year. Check it out.
I'm bringing it back. I'm wearing a fish hat. It's tipped to the side, and I kept the tags.
The orcas are throwing fish on their heads and carrying them around. And that's an unusual behavior for sure. I don't think we have any idea why this is happening exactly, but it is some kind of communication. This is something that is, I would say, kind of frivolous, kind of playful, and just a symbol of maybe that there were plenty of fish at that time. And that is the case, that there has been a huge chum salmon run in the Puget Sound. In the late 1980s, 1987 or 1988, there was a similar fad of wearing a fish on the head of orcas. And it was recorded. It was a little more sustained then, I believe, that there were more instances. At least 3 whales participated in the fad at that time. So it's precedented. There's a history of it, but we still cannot really pin down exactly what it means. But it means something to them. That's what's important. Is it is some sort of symbol that carries some meaning that they are communicating. It's always a thrill, and it's a kind of exhilaration to see orcas in the wild in any case. But to see one wearing a fish, you could say that's a cherry on top of that experience.
All right, so I know that I'm always doom and gloom about the southern residents, and I still feel like I might have a reason to be, but oddly enough, the fact that the fish hats are coming back as a trend makes me hope that at least this year they were well fed. Perhaps next year they'll be well fed. And so, yep, exactly. It's like the cherry on top. Exactly, Darlene. That is precisely it. And so I thought it was really funny because the reason why I'm showing you this set of videos is because just at the end of last week, Sue Honda sent me a video about why the orcas were attacking the scientists had figured out why the orcas were attacking the yachts. And I had actually already seen that or knew or read about that. You know, they were having fun and it was basically a game to them. But I'd never heard about the salmon hat part of it. So I thought that was a really funny fad that that our local orcas had. Well, not but 2 days after she sent me that video, did I start getting local news reports about how the orcas are wearing fish hats now. And I just thought it was so funny that the serendipity nature of the reporting, I just thought it was so cute. So I wanted to share with you the little uplifting hope that salmon hats at least give me, hopefully gives you, hopefully it gives them, because obviously they've eaten enough if they're wearing it on their head. But what I can't understand is how the salmon stays on their head while they are swimming. That I still can't figure out how it happens, right? I just don't get it. And exactly, from tattoos to salmon hats, the circle of life. Verity, I need a salmon hat too. What would they think if they started seeing us in them? You know, I mean, honestly, I feel like somebody could design quite a jaunty salmon hat. I really do feel like that could happen. And let's see here. Salmon hats for orcas. What's next? Orca Crocs, orca skinny jeans. Where does it end? I don't think they're going to want the skinny jeans. I mean, no, nobody wants the skinny jeans. Because if you have the skinny jeans, you can't have what I'm about to show you next. And Rick, we have cheese heads in Wisconsin. Maybe Seattle all needs to wear fish hats. No, but you know what? You've got cheese heads in Wisconsin. And last stream, we talked a little bit about this thing in New York called the chopped cheese. And the chopped cheese is a special kind of sandwich that they have in bodegas all over. I think it started in Spanish Harlem, but Brooklyn, Queens, the whole nine. Even Manhattan is starting to see the chopped cheese. And not everybody could really envision what a chopped cheese was. I didn't describe it very well. And so, because we cannot have a stream without at least one portion about food that we're going to eat, not just what the orcas are going to eat, I present to you a little video about chopped cheese.
All right, guys, I'm way overdue for making this chopped cheese sandwich. Meet me in the kitchen. Let's make it happen. Damn, that's good. All right, first things first, in a skillet over medium heat, add some avocado oil and 1 pound of 80/20 ground beef. Make sure you press down with your hands so you get a nice even crust on your ground beef like so. That's going to add flavor and texture. Next, you want to start breaking up the ground beef with your spatula and season it with what you see on the screen. Next, we're going to add in 1 diced onion and season that too. Make sure you give everything a toss to combine. Next, you're going to add a ton of American cheese, because why the hell not? We're here for a good time, not a long time. Make sure you toast your bread, and then we're going to hit that with some mayonnaise and some ketchup, followed by some lettuce and tomato. Make sure you season that tomato. Now it's time to add the good stuff. Don't be shy with that. We're going to add a little bit more ketchup because it felt right. Now we're going to wrap this up like they do with the deli. Let that hang out for a few minutes. That's when the magic happens. Now it's time to brace yourself for a trademark money shot. Say it with me, guys. Looking good. Everything you need is in the caption. Now it's your turn to make it happen.
So that, my friends, is a chopped cheese. And like you said, just a Philly cheesesteak, but with ground beef. But it's not, though. Philly cheesesteaks don't come with lettuce and tomato. And I don't know if all of the Philly cheesesteaks have to be wrapped. Whereas the chopped cheese, along with a good hero, you know, you need to wrap it. The magic is squeezing that sandwich close together before you take your bite. I don't know, do the Philly cheesesteaks get wrapped that way? I've never had one wrapped like that. That doesn't mean it's not supposed to be. But basically though, that is a chopped cheese, and the secret is all in the spices. And a lot of places that make chopped cheese, they have their own little spice blend. They either use chicken bouillon or they use the Goya Saison. But yeah, you need to make that roll all wrapped up tight, and then that is what makes the magic happen, like you said. And let's see here. Avalanches are also 100% avoidable. Well, I don't know about 100%, but I would say probably 99% avoidable. That's for sure, PB Bang. And nice fluffy soft snow is the best place to lay. Yeah, Cuban sandwich is pressed as well. Yeah, although actually I think a Cuban sandwich is pressed even before you like wrap. It's like pressed, isn't it? Like with like almost in a panini or whatever. But yeah, Cuban some of this, that's exactly it though. Some sandwiches, that's the whole, like, that is what you do, you know? It's not that kind of sandwich until you squish it down. Like, for instance, you cannot have a proper potato chip sandwich unless you squish them there potato chips in on whatever sandwich you got. Might have your tuna, you might have your ham, you might have your classic bologna, but you gotta squish it down. Otherwise, it's not a tater chip sandwich unless you squish it. And then they press them and then pack them in bins and pull one out when you order it. Right. Oh, okay. There you go. Oh, that sounds delicious. And Darlene arguing with her husband. No, Rick, a Philly cheesesteak has more thinly shaved roast beef, not ground beef. And peppers and onions with au jus sauce. No au jus sauce with the chopped cheese chopped cheese sandwich. That's not the tone in which she said that, I'm sure. That is not the tone in which she wrote that, Rick. I was just putting a little sassy spin on it, okay? I don't want to get... I don't want to get Darlene in trouble. That's not how she said it. She was really like, Rick, come on. You know it's the thin sliced roast beef and not the ground beef. There's no au jus. But instead, I said it all different. And let's see here. PB Bang, was that Lono song on YouTube? I could not find it. You know what, PB Bang? That Lono tune, or that video for that Lono tune, was created by Andy Bumatai. And I don't know if Lono does have it on his website. I grabbed it off of Andy's website, and I don't know if Andy still has it up. But I can tell you that you can get the song. It's on one of Lono's earlier albums. Like, when we play a lot of Lono stuff here and it's all in the Hawaiian language, that's what's called his old style series. But before he did the 9 old style albums, he has like a set of 4 or 5 albums that are just like music, just like what you just heard. And that is on either Maui Stylin' or Maui Looks Beautiful from Molokai. I think it's on Maui Stylin' here. I can check in just a second. And so if you want to buy the album, yeah, Maui Stylin'. It is Maui Stylin', yeah. So if you wanted to go buy the album that's off of, you can go to lonomusic.com, buy the Maui Stylin' album download, and that's where you're going to find that song. But honestly, I can get back to you on Whisper, or I can Whisper. I can do a website and see if I can search and see if I can find it on either Andy's site or Lono's site. But I am not so sure it is there. So you not being able to find it might be exactly what that is. But there are some videos on Lono's YouTube page that are from his Maui Stylin' era and other songs like that. So you can go and like you might want to check out Blue Eyes of Summer is a song that is in his earlier era, his not traditional music, you know. So yeah, there's that. And so it looks like we have got about 3 minutes left on this video, and the one picture that earlier today I said, oh, I forgot to download this picture. And I meant to. Well, I went and snuck and downloaded it while we were watching one of their videos. And this is a Christmas tree that you don't have to worry about any praying mantises being on. This is a Christmas tree that Trail Dust made about 10 years ago. Hey there, Gil Soto from Texas. We're looking at a Texas style Christmas tree. Actually, it's not a Texas style Christmas tree. It's just a ranch style Christmas tree made by our very own Trail Dust. And he sent that little picture, and I said, can I share it? And he said, of course. And so I am sharing it with all y'all. And that is the Christmas tree that you don't have to worry about those weird bugs being on. And let's see here. Yeah, Blue Eyes of Summer is a good one. I can think of a couple other ones from that era that are super good. Let's see. Old McKenna Road. People really like Old McKenna Road. Or maybe it's just called McKenna Road, I think. But Old McKenna Road, dude, people love that one. It is a good one. It is a good one. And let's see here. Andre, I would not want to see any mantis that comes that comes off of that tree. And Andre, no, apparently not everybody. I guess one of the differences with some of the places is some places use Cheese Whiz and some places don't. I know that the two rivals, Pat's and Geno's, one of them does not use Cheese Whiz. And the other one does, but also gives you, I think, options or whatever. But it's not always Cheese Whiz. I mean, it can be, but it's not always. And I think that there's one place, either Pat's or Geno's, I'm not going to tell you which one because I don't remember, that does not use the Cheese Whiz. They get offended by the idea. And let's see here. And Rick telling PPP Bang, check out Andy Bumatai. He's been posting some of his music videos from the past few years on his new YouTube channel, Raw Rides Hawaii, but no quote me. Yeah, and like I said, Andy Bumatai has made many videos for Lono. There's another video called Believe that I've got that Andy Bumatai made. It's a song that Lono does from back in the era prior to the Hawaiian old style stuff. So yeah, those would be the good little spots to look for the secret previous life of Lono's music. And yeah, Andre, only one does it. Saw it on a document about Philly cheesesteak. Exactly. But I do think, though, aside from those two rivalries of Pat's and Geno's, I do think that you are right, Andre. The vast majority of the places offer Cheese Whiz at least as an option. And yeah, Andre, yeah, exactly. And man, are they rude about it. That's what I'm saying is like, I know that there's at least one place that does not use the Cheese Whiz. That is for sure. All right, so I want to thank you guys for hanging out. We are going to hopefully see each other Wednesday, 5 p.m. West Coast time. But before we say goodbye, you know what I'm about to do, right, you guys? We're going to try and say hello. Here we go. I don't know what is going on with her, but she has been so much more cuddly lately. Her and her brother both. I think it must be getting cold or something. I don't know, but that was quite the cuddle. And then as soon as I picked her up, her brother decided it was time to say hello. So I know that we're running late. I know that we are supposed to leave. But how am I supposed to resist double cat time? That never happens. So, that's so awesome. And also, yeah, exactly. Thanks, Rick. I didn't know that Andy had another channel. So, very good info to have. For those of you who didn't hear what Rick said to PPP Bang. Apparently, Raw Rides Hawaii is Andy's new website. So and actually, to tell you guys the truth, one of the reasons why I chose Lono's That's What She Does video today is because I've been missing Andy, okay? Let me just tell you right now, I miss Andy like nothing. I miss Andy, I miss Andy, I miss Andy. I want him back on the computer. I want him streaming again. And so that was just my way to relive Andy Bumatai. All right, you guys, so thank you for letting me relive Andy Bumatai. And thank you so much for being here. Thank you, mods, for being here. I don't think we had to mod, and if we did, I didn't notice it, so double thank you. Thank you, Andre, and everybody else for the biddies, the gift subs, the hype train, etc., etc. And yes, thank you so much, Shock, for giving us the little photo album. And thank you, C Honda, for the whale news. And I don't know who else I need to thank, so I just am gonna say thank you so much, all y'all. We will hopefully see each other